Uh, Greetings and salutations. This is a Dragon Barrows video, and today's video it is a rebuttal against Natasha and Debbie from the Natasha and Debbie show. You know those two women that are looking at the UK, Australia, and New Zealand in a fun and jovial manner. But the reason why I'm rebutting them in this video is that in a in the recent one that was posted up a day ago, as recording of this video on the 3rd of January 2024, they released one on the 2nd of January of 2024, and it's entitled American Couple Reacts Educated American versus British Police. Let me just say this to firstly address this to you both. In the UK, you do have the right to question the authority. You do have the right to ask them, why are they detained? And from the video that I've watched with the two of you, getting all angry, all frustrated, and all defensive of the US, like the US's bogan, Southern American, chav sort of attitude, and that to me that shows that you women don't exactly know what you are talking about. In the UK, you have the right, if you have done nothing wrong, to ask the question, why are you being detained? And from that video, I've seen that the police officers were not forthcoming, were not being honest of why that these gentlemen are getting detained. And and according to the video that you watched, a vague description of the person has been given. Over here, let's just say, like over here in Australia, where I am from, a vague description could mean anything. Like, for me, for instance, I am a 6-foot male who's about between 200 to 300 pounds, Caucasian skin, with a mustache, a goatee, and short hair with a little bit of stubble growth. A bit podgy around the midsection, but basically of a fit complexion. That is a vague description of me. And you know how many gentlemen or men of my that look like me are there in Australia? There are like a couple of thousand, if not tens of thousands, of men who look like me. And to say, since you have done a video on Tasmania, I live in Sydney, and a crime was done in Tasmania. The police in New South Wales don't have the right to detain me. for something that was done in Tasmania. But and as Natasha, as you were saying, oh, I should sit your ass down and respect the authority. Technically, he does have the right to question. Does the guy have like, where did this crime happen? And they said it was nearby. Nearby could mean like next door. It could mean down the street. It could mean like on the other side of the suburb. Where did this crime actually happen? They can ask that question. This I would have to say, a properly educated man can ask this sort of question. And like as the guy in that video was saying, did the criminal look like my friend over here? Did the criminal look like me over here? What does the criminal actually look like? And that's what that guy was trying to ask. But clearly, you two just want to go off on this stupid defending the authority, defending the 5 police officers that have not only illegally stopped these gentlemen from most probably just going on their peaceful merry way, but they have said nothing in this video of why are they getting detained. Oh, they have a little bit of a script. They may they were told that there was a black and white duo that did an alleged crime somewhere else. And if someone and since three of them happened to be like out of the 5 police officers that were there, 3 of them were gentlemen. One of those gentlemen could have escorted the gentleman that needed to use the bathroom to the bathroom, have them do whatever they have to do, pee or poop, one of the two, and have them to escort them back, which is a reasonable request. But you say, oh, you can like the vibe of what you were saying is they're old enough they can hold the pee or just pee your pants. That is hardly a grown-up manner to address the situation that you have literally put these 2 gentlemen in. And they do have the right to ask, why are they getting detained? And since they didn't exactly have a proper reason why they are getting detained, the police should have let them go. But through over the video that you clearly are too blind to see, and Natasha, you wear bloody glasses, and this is coming from someone who, and with you getting all frustrated and not wanting to see what is actually happening, is that you say you got to respect the authority. We've been watching videos on the military. We've been like, that's what's the vibe you're getting off. You're literally getting off the fact that you like. I don't give. To be honest with you, my grandfather was a medic in World War II and served in Burma. My mother's uncle was a police officer and went up to the rank of senior sergeant. My father was a sheriff's officer in New South in my country, and guess what? He was a senior sergeant. He was on the line of senior sergeant and junior inspector. So I know for a fact that you can question authority. And if the authority doesn't have a proper reason to do what they are doing, well, then the authority are the people of authority are to blame. I remember hearing stories from hearing young rookies who get a big head over the fact that they are a police officer, and these two female police officers in the video that you have seen look like they have that sort of mentality, that sort of ego, that sort of vibe. It's like, oh, we're police officers, you got to do what we say. No. Or with the bloke that's a sergeant who looks like a bloody stupid Rowan Atkinson character from a comedy skit that didn't become popular from the 1980s. So have a bigger complex because of him and his title. And this is where you can question them. And how you are getting so angry, but the both of you getting so angry and so violent, so vitriolical over the fact that all this gentleman wanted was a proper explanation of why that him and his friend were being detained for a lengthy period of time with no valid, with literally nothing valid. Or a crime happened somewhere. But has this law enforcement gone to, and since it is in London for Pete's sake, and let me just say the reason why London, in Pete's sake, in such a shocking way, is the fact that in London there is security cameras at nearly every single street, boulevard, avenue, road, on nearly every corner of nearly every single intersection, nearly up every single tree, on every single telegraph pole, light pole, on every single shop. It is that dense with CCTV cameras. And these police officers are too bloody stupid. Yes, I'm calling all 5 of these police officers bloody stupid for not going to the security cameras, checking the fact that these 2 individuals were at that location during the time of the alleged crime that actually happened, and they just simply don't want to do it, or they want to have a quick day in the bloody office and say, "Oh, look, we got the 2 criminals," only to find out some days later that the criminals were picked up somewhere else. It'd be like saying the criminals that you would have seen in like this sort of video, in like if they were caught in Austin, guess what? The real criminals were caught in Houston. Can you see where your anger is not exactly with it, Natasha and Debbie? These police officers are acting like they're acting like lazy school kids that want to just go, okay, the answers are okay. For question 3, it's A. Um, question 4, it's D. That's what that's what these dumb police officers in the video that you reacted to have done. It looks like that they've cheated their way to where they have got their positions, got their jobs, and they don't want to do the real hard work. And you're saying that these two people who could have just been just wanting to chill and just see the world go by, but only to have 2 police officers come up and then later on 5 police officers. Who knows? Maybe later on in the footage, many more police officers come for what? 2 innocent people who were just sitting around doing nothing. When they could have easily have gone to the CCTV, checked the true identification, and did their hard work. And the more that this video that, like, I am really frustrated at the fact that since you want to call yourselves educated and knowledgeable and of women who want to learn a lot more, how about you just do that? Just learn a bit more. Just don't believe this hype about authority. From you getting angry at your fellow countryman for sticking up for his rights, which he is allowed to do. No matter if it's from like Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Baltimore, Maryland, United States of America, Manchester in the UK, Christchurch in New Zealand, or over here in Sydney, Australia, we do have the right to question authority. And how you and he was just trying to ask them why they are getting detained. My friend has to go to a toilet. One of your officers can escort him, which is reasonable. Which is a reasonable thing to do. Ask him what that this thing could happen. Maybe have 2 police. Maybe have 2 of the male officers go and escort him to the toilet and have him to do number 1 or number 2. Shit or piss, one of the 2, or even both. You see, Natasha and Debbie, that your anger and your literally disrespect towards these 2 gentlemen comes from a very lacking or misguided trust in authority. I've said my credential. I've said the reason why I know for a fact that you can question authority is that my great uncle was a police officer. My mother's uncle on her father's side was a police officer. My grandfather, since you want to bring up respect for different parts of authority, my grandfather on my dad's side served as a medic in the Royal British Forces of World War II. My father moved to Australia in 1968, and in 1988, 87, 88, became a New South Wales sheriff's officer. So I'm saying that this because my great uncle, when he was a police officer, he literally did a thing called investigating crimes. He just didn't see a vague description and go to to uh, to what you call a bar over here in Australia, we call a pub, and arrest nearly 5 or 6 people and go, oh, you look like this. It looks like this vague description of this person. He didn't do that. He he literally got off his bloody ass and did investigative work. Went out there and asked the questions. And today with CCTV, like closed circuit television or security cameras, and since it's in London, the world's highest camera to area ratio, you can't. They couldn't easily have gone to use that facilities, that bit of technology. That's something that my great uncle would have loved to have had at his fingertips back in the 1960s, like late 1950s, early 1960s, when he first started his job as a police officer. Actually, it would be mid 50s to late 50s. Something like that would have helped my great uncle a lot. Even my great uncle said when security cameras were installed in shopping centers and that, he said this would have made my job a lot easier. And these police officers did not want to use that resource. It shows that they are very much unable. They just don't want to use that sort of technology, which makes them lazy to go in to see that sort of footage. My father became a sheriff's officer in the late 80s with him coming to Australia from India, which was like 19 to 20 years after moving to Australia from, like, when he came over here in the 1960s. He would look at an address, we'd go to that destination, and just to deliver papers or to protect a judge in courtrooms and check for illegal substances in people's belongings after the 9/11 plane crashes in New York City. And even then, with closed circuit TV, my father could have said to the police officers, "This is what happened." Show them the footage. Hell, even when my grandfather was in the Royal British Army, in the medical corps, he actually did go to place, like, literally, he just didn't pick up like some army personnel who may have had a runny nose just to say, oh, I did a quota of rescuing people from the front line. No, he didn't. He didn't assist someone who may have had a cough or may have sneezed, because my grandfathers would have said that that was lazy. You see, the men of these three men in my life have taught me that, and these are from three stressful places, and they have had authority over people, have taught me, don't be lazy, make sure you look into it hard. Make sure you look into it with a lot more care and diligence. And let me just bring back to the beginning of this video and say that all this person wanted was the reason why they were getting detained, or the reason why they were held up. But the police officer said was because of alleged crime. You know for a fact that when you start using the words like alleged, and it happened nearby, well then you would have had to have said goodbye to all sense and rationality to be honest, and to literally say, we don't know what we're doing, we're behind on a quota, and with that, there are two people who look like this vague description of two people of two gentlemen that may have committed a crime somewhere else without having to look at the CCTV footage, without actually doing a proper lick of hard work and looking into what actually did happen. Like, if you have a security camera, guess what? Wrap everything up, put it in a bow, boom. You've got your criminals, if they're stupid enough to have no mask during the crime. You have what they look like. You have their getaway car, since it's in London. You would know everything about them. But seeing two people who may have like a vague, shadowy, familiar, similar, wishy-washy, look-alike, doppelgangery image of two people that allegedly committed a crime somewhere else. Nah. You see, Natasha and Debbie, this is where you are wrong in getting angry at this gentleman who questioned the authority. This is where you are literally wrong at saying you got to respect authority, when at times their authority can be wrong on the literally as they are doing something. All you have to do is look at your president, Joe Biden, who is literally destroying your country as we speak. Or shall we say Kamala Harris, since she's literally the one running the country. To be honest, to be brutally honest with you, you two literally need to put on your big girly panties and literally start to re-evaluate this video. Literally rethink about how stupid this whole thing about getting angry at an American who all he just wants to do is just chill in London with his best mate. That's all I've seen with that video. All he's wanted to do is just chill with his mate and then go on their merry way without hurting anyone. Only to have 5 police officers stop them from having a nice day. Hell, actually, to be honest with you, this happened to me. When I was walking to church about 15 years ago, yeah, it would be about nearly 15 years ago, I was walking to church. Had a backpack on, singing some songs that I love listening to, only to be stopped by not 5, but 12 police officers with stun guns at the ready telling me to lay down. And for what? I had a backpack on with my Bible in hand, and after church, and since my Bible study group was the one responsible with bringing food to church to help serve others within the congregation I was a part of at the time, they stopped me because they thought I was a terrorist, or because someone didn't like what I didn't like what I was singing about. They didn't like the fact I was wearing a skull. I remember the t-shirt I was wearing. It had a beautiful white skull on, like skull and crossbones on the cut on the front of the shirt, and on the back of the shirt it read, which was covered up by the backpack, mind you. It said, "Honor may be good, but fighting has honor behind it." I bought that t-shirt because I thought that the motto at the time was good. Honor may be good, but fighting is more honorable. And I had a Pokemon backpack over the top of that. And I was wearing rainbow colored pants with thongs. They maybe didn't like the fact that I looked like a hippie and a metal fan. I don't care what that twisted sick freak was thinking about, but they rang the cops on me. Having 12 police officers on me, detaining me, and throwing what food I had brought for church, thrown all over the place, making me having to buy more food, is stupid. Like, I can testify for a fact that the authority can get it wrong, Natasha and Debbie. And I can see for a fact that these police officers did the same thing to these gentlemen as what these freaking dozen police officers did to me. It was an unjust detaining, and it shouldn't stand. All I was just doing was walking to church, singing some metal songs that I love, and I was going about it in a peaceful manner. So before you watch one of these videos and start tapping yourself, getting all angry, or saying, "Oh, the U.S. we should have this is not us. This is not us." Maybe you should think clearly that authority can get things wrong. That authority doesn't need to be always obeyed. That authority needs to be questioned from time to time. And one last thing to Natasha and Debbie. One more stupid video like this, and I'm unsubscribing you. I'm literally unsubscribing to the two of you. Just stick in your lane, learn, express to others of what you learnt, and keep out of this political mumbo jumbo that you've now caught yourself in. You, in this one video, have shown how truly uneducated Americans can be. And I thought you were much more intelligent than to be one of those stupid, authoritative, dictatorial, dick-headed Americans. Well, sadly, you proved me wrong. And as I said again, stay in your lane, learn, and show other people what you've learned about other countries, other cultures. Because just on this one video alone, you have literally pushed me to the edge. And one more video like this, I promise you, with whatever video I've saved on my private playlist that I have of yours, I shall delete from my playlist. With whatever subscription I've had of yours, I will delete it, unsubscribe, and I'll tell others in another video of why you are nothing more than authoritative, dictatorial, following, tyrant-loving pieces of garbage you both are. And on that note, sod off, you bloody Sheilas.